Hi, today I'm going to be talking about the topic of I what I now know about societies, governments, and the relationship that I did not know previously. Looking at that, I'm primarily going to be going off of the written lecture for um, humans and governments, and then the Plato and Aristotle on government. Um, Going into I think, the former of the two, going into the Plato and Aristotle, something that really caught my eye that, I kind of thought, but it really wasn't like looking into it, especially in the society that, we live in now in the United States, but looking at it where it stated where the single most desired thing by humans is happiness. Everything we do has as its end purpose is the achievement of happiness. I kind of looked. I that was something that was always in the back of our head. We have what is it? Trying to think of the American Destiny. um, and that well, yeah, but we have the pursuit of happiness, which is, yeah, but I think sometimes especially in just my own views, is that we don't always look for the happiness. We look for the easiest route. Um, and kind of looking into that, for Plato, he says that justice is having the right kind of character, and that's one of being righteous, or one must engage both in right as well as justifiable actions. um, Looking at that, you kind of look at the justice system now, and it's kind of hard to say. It's you have like, and I view our government as corrupt, but that's my own personal view. I think it does its job, but I also feel that it doesn't do its job half the time. And I just there were a lot of things, especially in Plato's work, where he's like, we have the Guardians, or you have the Guardians, which are the well-educated rulers of the state. Yeah, that's our elected officials, our Senate, our Congress, President, and all of that. Which well-educated sometimes is iffy at best with some of our people. And then you also have the soldiers, the police, the militaries. They're the ones that are protecting the city, and they're also enforcing the laws and stuff like that. And then you have the workers, which kind of just strive for the virtue of moderation or temperance. That's what I feel is like the everyday person, where it's just we go on with our 9 to 5 job, go to school, get married, have like a couple of little kids, and that's all. We don't really strive to go any further, and that's something that really like popped out of me, popped out to me. That's something that I didn't really know we had. I just thought it was everyone kind of does what they feel like, in a way. And then moving on to humans and government, that really got me looking at is the theory of current cycles that stated from the Greek political sciences, where it's monarchies lead into tyranny, tyrannies lead into aristocracies, degenerate in oligarchies, exploited the populations, and oligarchies are overthrown by democracies, and then democracies turn into monarchies. That's something that I really didn't think of. Like, it's something that I did not look at, that just popped in my head. That's something that I definitely did not know. And with this, I look at it and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, no, our governments and societies today lead into that. You look at the history of the U.S. alone. You know, we had a monarchy which was kind of a tyranny, monarchy tyranny, kind of both the same in our case. And then that led into a government which power is held by the few, which, founding fathers, our early government, and that kind of turned into a democracy, or no, into an oligarchy, which was kind of ran it. We kind of jumped in between aristocracies and oligarchies and the democracy. We kind of jumped in between the last half. I feel that it's not like a hammered down definite monarchies degenerate into tyranny. I think it's kind of like, well, these can jump into kind of descending from monarchies to democracies as long as it's going down that cycle. I feel that it can or will jump down between a few of them. Might skip a few. That's my interpretation of it. And that was really about it. Like looking into it, kind of a good one that I also didn't know, the inside of a social contract by Thomas Hobbes, where there's no stable government, there's chaos, where chaos should be avoided at all costs, and chaos is only prevented if the government is strong. That's a kind of iffy on me. Like, it definitely was something that popped up at me, where it's like, oh, wow, I did not fully know this. I knew, chaos should be prevented at all costs. We don't want, full on anarchy. And then it is prevented by a strong government. But it's like one of those things where you don't really think about it until you see it and it pops up at you. And as of that, that's about it. The relationship between the government and societies. It's, you have the governed and the govern, who, the govern is the people that rule us. The governed are the, people that, everyday people. But, I found a lot of the philosophy behind it really interesting, especially like Plato's ideal state and Thomas Hobbes and the theory of current cycles. I found all of that like really interesting and definite stuff that I did not know at the beginning. So thank you for putting through going through my rambling.